If compassion is the willingness to immerse completely in the experience that life presents to us, the willingness to be wholeheartedly engaged, to respond to the world's joys and sorrows, then forgiveness is the ability to let reality be reality. It's allowing being with what is. And not holding on. What is. Isn't it just so? What is there to hold on to? Right now, the world we experience is a constantly shifting mosaic, infinitely complex, operating on so many scales, inconceivably intricate, and constantly changing. And it's not a thing, this appearing world. Nothing to grasp. It's like this with everything, including our personal lives. What has happened has happened. What we feel is what we feel. On some level, there's no argument to be had with reality. And so forgiveness, which implies a giving up, means giving up the burden of trying to hold on. It means giving up our suffering. The word forgiveness has somewhat obscure etymological roots. But it clearly implies an act of generosity. Letting go. Unbinding. We forgive this world for being as it is. And in doing so, we find peace. This is our prayer. This is our prayer that we will be able to let go. That we will be able to surrender our burden. That we will give up the argument with reality, the impossible struggle that involves, that we know, that we feel in our interpersonal lives, our relationships and grudges that we hold, or just the complications that come with being always involved in an interchange of energies with others. We often find ourselves holding on to an image of someone, holding on to a thing that apparently happened from our point of view. So knowing that there's really nothing to hold on to, we pray that we will be able to let go. This is an honest prayer because the reason we hold on is that we don't see clearly. And it's not entirely within our control just to make that letting go happen. That's not what this is about. It's not, we don't have that kind of control. This is a deeper wish, it's a deeper prayer. Forgiveness is a deeper truth. It's not just psychological. It's not a personal, moral deficiency that we're holding on. It's a deeper truth. So we offer this prayer. We abide in this prayerful wish to surrender. And we can do this in specific ways. Right now, let's bring to mind, bring to heart some past incident, some past thing that happened that we're holding on to. Some person that we blame, somebody that we haven't forgiven. Please bring that to mind, situation or person from the past. And simply recall that situation, that person, hold them in your heart, hold them in your mind's eye, your heart's eye, and hold them closely with your attention, with the energy of this prayerful wish that you be able to let go. Nothing more. Just holding the image, holding whatever there is of the situation that you can connect with, feel what part of it is alive. And without trying to make anything happen, simply hold that content with the prayerful attitude. May this burden be released. May this not be untied. May this letting go be allowed. You may not even need the words, but the feeling, the energy of allowing, feeling the burden, feeling the knot, and feeling the potential for it to dissolve, to release, to re-enter the stream of suchness, break down into so much sediment and be carried by the flow of reality where it belongs. May this be released. May this tightness open. Now, bring to mind, bring to heart a past situation or interaction where you committed some wrong, where you hurt somebody, where you inflicted some kind of damage, crossed a line, and you feel remorse. And you haven't let go. And let yourself abide with that image, that scene, that feeling, and offer the wish, the prayer that it be released. May I forgive myself for this. May I be forgiven. And if it's helpful for you, you can ask the person or whomever is there in the situation for that forgiveness. knowing that this is not a transaction. This is an act of generosity. An act of humility for everyone involved. May I let go of this pain. May I let go of this judgment. May it all be released into the truth. Now, connect with, bring into your attention something present right now, some offending sensation, some unwanted thought, any aspect of your present experience right now that you regard as a problem, a cause of grievance for you. And come in close to that part of your experience. Hold it, be with it, and offer the prayer. May this burden be released. May this holding on to judgment be released. May I give up this struggle. Perhaps you're even aware of a stream of micro judgments, and you can continually offer the prayer. As you're continually aware of this argument that you have with your experience. And perhaps you can feel the dissolving of the bondage, dissolving of the hardened, calcified relationship. It's not real. And it hurts. Continue to be aware as you adjust. Feel the shifting of your experience with every movement. How malleable, how fragile the forms of our experience, the forms of our perception, like shifting sands. Offering yourself kindness with every movement. Carrying now this prayer with every movement. Now, this might not be different or not be very different from what you just did, but connect in this present moment with some offense that you regard yourself as culpable for right now. Something you are blaming yourself for, some defect. And offer this prayer. Feel into the judgment, the criticism, the image of yourself that you're holding that supports this grievance. And ask that it be let go. Ask that this false burden be released. Now find something else in your present experience that you are regarding yourself as guilty of, as having done some wrong. Feel the burden. Feel the weight of it and ask that it be released. Perhaps it's even your inability to forgive or something related to this very exercise that you are criticizing yourself for. reality does nothing wrong. It makes no mistakes. This is true absolution. Now, imagine some future circumstance, some encounter, some scenario, however vivid. Just put yourself in a life situation of any kind and imagine that someone is harming you in some way or violating your trust or cheating or swindling you or anything at all. And feel the moral outrage, the sense of offense and the anger, perhaps, and judgment, or the hurt and the sadness. And then feel that reaction as it crystallizes into a claim against this person, a grudge, a view of this person, a story about what happened. And then imagine yourself living, carrying that story and that hatred of this person, animosity, carrying that around with you everywhere. And then imagine that you go to a quiet, peaceful place. Maybe it's a pond with a waterfall or a secluded grove, a place that feels safe and quiet and clear. And you go to this place with the prayer that this burden you've been carrying be dissolved, that you let go. And you may even imagine that you release it somehow ritually in that scene, that you cast something into a river or into the air, or somehow you blow the seeds and the remains of that burden into nature. You let go. And continue imagining this for as long as it feels genuine. For as long as you feel you need to. Perhaps imagining other future scenarios. And as you do this, you may begin to feel how arbitrary these judgments are. how random the encounters, how indistinguishable one person is from the other, how the story, it seems prefabricated, that it just somehow replicates itself and, like a virus in your mind. You may even extend into the very distant future. Maybe there are future lives in which you are engaged in unthinkable acts and living in worlds far different from this, but the same pattern plays out. Maybe you are in different forms, living different lives. Now, begin to imagine a future scenario where you have committed some wrong. You are the offending actor. And somebody in your life is harmed. And feel the pang of conscience. Feel the remorse, the sense of culpability, the self-consciousness and the sense of regret, perhaps tinged with a sense of love, an underlying love for this person, for humanity, for life, for goodness. And imagine yourself then blaming yourself, carrying this hard burden, feeling perhaps shame even, unable to fully face others in the world, feeling somehow marked by this crime. And then imagine yourself going again to a place, perhaps a different place, a place now of solace and of potential. And offering this prayer again, that this burden be lifted, that you forgive yourself. And feel that. What that feels like. To forgive and to be forgiven. Feel the lightening, the ease, the well-being. Feel the freshness, the freedom, the dignity, the openness, the relaxation. And now just feel into all of that in whatever way you can, and rest. Rest in that freedom.